This is all about the K through 3 laptop implementation. And what we wanted to do today is we have teamed with Curriculum and Instruction, the coordinators there, to really bring to you, as these laptops roll onto your campuses, what are the best practices that C&I really feel like these laptops need to have and you see in your classroom. So I'm not going to I'll be talking at the very end, and reserve all your questions for the very end. I am sending out a Google form. We're going to start with Jamie Smith, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about their best practices.
Hi, it's nice to see everyone. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what kindergarten will be expected to do and how to use these laptops that they're going to get in their classrooms. Really, they will be expected to use the laptops just as they would for any other grade level. So you'd pay close attention to what the content coordinators are going to tell you about what they would expect. But I do have some other things as well. So some examples might be in English language arts, they might use the laptops to record stories using Audacity. They might use Tumble Books, which, thanks to the bilingual ESL coordinator, all kindergartens will have access to that next year, and so they would be able to listen and record those stories from reading A to Z, and also from Tumble Books. In writing, I talked with the ITS, and one of the ideas that I had was I wanted them to be able to publish some of their stories that they're writing. And so we talked about that they could use these laptops to do that, to publish them to a blog where they would have a real audience who could respond back to them. In math, I would think that they would use them during small group time, especially since there are only 4 laptops, where they would practice a skill that they had been learning, or when the teacher was using was doing small group instruction, she could have another group at the laptops working on that same concept. And also in social studies and science, just to be able to use those laptops to apply their learning, maybe to create products that would show what they've learned in those content areas. So those are just a few ideas that I had about how kindergarten could use these laptops. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Debbie Jones, the ELAR coordinator.
Good afternoon, one and all. We're going to really piggyback on several of the things that Jamie really shared with you, and really the intent of using this technology is to really enrich the learning with very meaningful and purposeful practice. So that's really the lens on which we want to focus the use of these technology pieces that are going to be available in these grade levels. What we'd like to see is that these practices really occur during literacy workstations. We would want them to address all 4 strands of literacy, to include reading, writing, listening, and speaking. What you might see is you would walk into a classroom or students working in partners. This might be in a variety of flexible grouping arrangements. What we might see is students sharing a mouse to respond to literature and to extend their learning of the standards with very intentful, explicit practice. You might see this in a literacy workstation that is addressing the listening skills, using online resources to record text and then to listen back to the text. You might even see something that might be one-to-one correspondence with a very specific genre or a type of text. But the intent is really about that meaningful and purposeful practice. We really want to see a response and evidence of the learning tied exactly to the text that the students are covering through Tier 1 instruction. There is a tech that we feel would strongly address this. It occurs in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. This is a tech that asks students to ask and respond to questions about the text read aloud, to locate facts and details about stories and other text, to seek clarification, about these and to support their answers and responses with evidence from the text. These are the pieces we might see. Some of the resources that I know that intense training is happening and ongoing through the ITS department are using pieces that are now available on several of our campuses, things like Reading A to Z, RAS Kids, One More Story, Read, Write, Think response activities. For our older students, they may tap into our treasures resources such as Time for Kids and really interacting with that informational text. We might see a variety used for these with word work and vocabulary practice, such as academic vocabulary. And then not to leave out writing. Writing is a response piece where we want to see the students publish, share, collaborate, and reflect on their own writings. This could be done in a variety of menus, such as blogging and online resources. We even have some of those available through RightSource, our English language arts adoption. So those are the few ways that we would see this technology being utilized in English language arts.
Hey, good afternoon. From the bilingual ESL department, we would like to offer the Reading A to Z, as Jamie and both Debbie and Jamie mentioned. Reading A to Z is available in both English and Spanish, and these are fabulous leveled books that come with word study lessons, and they are also great for guided reading and shared reading, and excellent for just building the listening and speaking, reading and writing opportunities for students. We also have DineEd, which is great for academic English. This is available pre-K 5. This is, let's see, I believe it comes in it's available for all content areas. So, and I think a variety of languages, not just English. We also encourage the teachers to visit the district website, where we have on our webpage, we have listed a variety of free online resources, and we update that pretty regularly, so we do encourage them to visit that. But for the laptops, we just encourage teachers to give students opportunity to listen, to speak, to read, and to write the target language. Thank you, and I'm going to hand it over to Mary Bellamy's math coordinator.
Good afternoon. In math, technology is a wonderful vehicle to help us with getting the kids engaged in doing math problems. They can write problems. We have the process skills that help us with this. It fits so great with this technology that's going to be available to the kids. So they can apply the mathematics, that's one of our process skills, through writing problems or doing problem-based learning. Another tech is about problem-solving model, and with that, we can use it with our Think Through Math, and again with writing problems. We have a tech specific on using manipulatives, and there is a website that's called National Virtual Library of Manipulatives that the kids could use to manipulate. And with our new techs of 2012, there are things such as coins going down to kindergarten, base 10 blocks going into first grade, fraction tiles going into third grade. So there's a lot of manipulatives that are coming into the grade levels, meaning that the teachers are going to need more manipulatives, and I'm going to try to get some of that, but it was great that you can also access them using the technology that's available to us. Also, we have another text about using different representations, and one of the representations that they mention is graphs, and Jamie already mentioned using graphs for mathematics, but there is another website called creategraphs.com, especially for kids, that they could use in order to develop their own graphs. And then we have another text on organizing and recording their information, and there's another website called gridsmaths.com that could help with that. But one of the most important ones is about communicating ideas and explaining your thoughts. And that's where we can really engage the kids with either writing about their problems and how they solved it, through either doing blogs or videotaping themselves and explaining their thoughts and letting other kids hear and see it. And of course they can work in partner pairs, as you've heard others say as well, or in groups of 4. But one of the main things that you could also use it for is for RTI. We are anticipating getting a new universal screener that will be computer-based. So if you have makeups that you need to do, you could use the new technology that will be available for that, as well as other programs such as Times Attack that will be available as well. So the next coordinator will be Brenda. She'll be talking to you about science.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm actually speaking for April Shirelli and myself, so I'll be talking about social studies. First of all, for just a little bit, she couldn't be with us today and asked me if I could just highlight a couple of things that she thought would be good fits for social studies. I think with social studies and science both, we really wanted to highlight things that teachers were pretty well familiar with already, so they could just be taken to that next step now that we have this wonderful tool in the classroom. So for social studies, a couple of things that probably teachers are already utilizing but can be easily transferred to the laptop in either a workstation environment, individual or partner work, is the use of some of the center strategies that she's developed currently in a folder form. The vehicle for those could easily be transferred onto the laptop, as well as some of the videos that she has linked in the curriculum, Brain Pop, I Was First videos, and Discovery Education, as well as the Maps 101 resource that I know a lot of teachers have been utilizing. I heard another coordinator mention the use of Kid Blog, and April thought that would be a really nice fit for some authentic feedback for some of the social studies standards, as well as the inspiration software. So for social studies, those are just a few of the ideas that you're probably already using to transfer onto the laptop use. And then for science, I wanted to take that same approach as well. We have so many wonderful resources, especially with STEM scopes. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that we currently have in STEM Scopes 1.0, which is our current version. And then you'll be finding out some new resources which will even make these laptops more accessible for your students with the 2.0 version that we'll be getting in August. Some things that we have right now in STEM Scopes is a web surfing science. This is a pre-made web quest that has student tasks as well as vetted, solidly great content websites. Those are ready for you to go, and they're all done for you. So that might be a good first step for starting use with these laptops, as well as some of the old familiars that I know a lot of teachers are using, like Science Rock, and then Reading Science. These can be now on screens for partner work or for individual work. The other thing that I'm really excited about is the addition of the EduSmart program on these laptops. Currently, the EduSmart program is primarily a shortcut that's accessible through the teacher computer and then projected onto your whiteboard. And with these new laptops, I was very excited to learn that the EduSmart program shortcut is actually on these laptops. So if there's a piece of EduSmart that you would like to have your students go through in a workstation, or you'd like for them to practice independently, that's going to be available. So that's very exciting, because I know that that's a resource a lot of teachers are really using and liking. And then the final resource that I want to highlight for these laptops are the Smart Scopes. So these are digital scopes that you have on your campus. Here's what the box looks like. And most of these are going to be located in the library. They're going to be stored in the library, so you can go to your librarian and have these checked out. And there's actually 5 of these per campus for the laptops. There's also an iGo version which works with iDevices, but there are 5 of these that will work with the laptops. And if you've not utilized these are fantastic resources. It's a simple digital scope that's going to be easy enough for kinder to use, powerful enough for your older students to be really engaged. It's got a light, easy focus. Students can explore. The magnification goes up to 200 times. Students can simply explore with the magnification. There's also the ability to take still photos with it, as well as time-lapse video, which is really exciting. And if you don't know about this resource, or you'd like to have somebody come in and help you, I know the ITS team would be happy to come in and help you facilitate your first lesson. And also your science resource manager has been trained on how to use these as well. So with social studies and with science, I hope that a couple of these resources will connect with you and that you'll enjoy this wonderful resource in your classroom.
As you listen to these coordinators, there are some great best practices. When the laptops arrive at your campus, the instructional technology team, the elementary, will be there to hand them out that day. on that day, we will make a short menu of all the things that the curriculum coordinators have talked about. So as they get their laptops, we will be able to explain to them that this is just the beginning. With each of you as administrators, the instructional technology will sit down and we will make an implementation type of program with you to help train. This is not a one-time training. There will be initial training where your teachers will actually see these coordinators talking about these best practices. And we will start them on a journey to learning all the different parts that are really going to make these laptops enhance the curriculum and really help kids master the standard. But we just really look forward to this implementation. And like I said, what we will be doing is there'll be a schedule sent out to you. You'll know when we're coming, and we will actually hand out those laptops to the teachers with that menu. And then we'll sit down with you and we'll make a training, kind of like an academy, where we actually sit down and do several trainings. We really want to chunk this training so that they can scaffold their learning. So as we go through, they will really have an idea, you know, and we really want to work with them as well as when they struggle with the management piece to come in and show them, because we really want this implementation to go well and for you to know exactly when you walk into a classroom what you should be seeing, what curriculum instruction really wants to have done with that. So